but you can have it.
Hey, 先生有事吗? Do you know that that's actually one of the tracks off of Tanya's latest album, which has a very interesting title that we might have a discussion about here. In English, and this is a good English lesson, and I know that she actually posted on your Facebook fan page that you're going to be here today and asking all your fans to come in and join us with some 姐姐要教你英文的这个访谈哈。Welcome to the show, it's Tanya.
Hey everybody, hey Joseph.
Okay, the word is aphasia, isn't
Aphasia.
it? Yeah,
aphasia. Do it breathily.
Aphasia.
And it'll sound really sexy.
It actually sounds very exotic.
It almost sounds French.
It does, and it seems, just because the word, how it is structured, it seems kind of like Asian related almost, because Asia.
It's like Asia.
Asia.
Yeah. Not there.
A phase of Asia is aphasia, isn't it?
It's a phase of Asia.
A phase of Asia is aphasia. We're just creating words.
Well thought out.
But no, it actually means what you translated into in Chinese is 失语者.
失语者, which is supposedly like a medical term where
that's
one
what I want to say, yeah.
apparently loses the ability to communicate through language.
Yeah, that's right. It's a serious condition. It's a medical condition.
Yeah.
Although I'm thinking you're probably just using it as a metaphor, right?
Of course. I don't write anything like too medical or like too deep.
She's getting into the field of medicine and cure. No, it's about like we have lost, a certain ability to communicate, I suppose.
It is, and it's like unconsciously because the digital era, that we sort of just sunk into unknowingly. We're just like bombarded, and also we're just surrounded by so many technologies and all that kind of stuff, and we're sort of like sucked into the internet world, where everybody just sort of spend their days looking into the internet, and seeing what else everyone else is doing.
Exactly.
And then you sort of forget to make that call to that somebody, or want to hang out with somebody and talk. You kind of forgot that you want to talk.
We do. and in fact, they did a research on, I think, veterans and military personnel that went to this research done by the U.S. They had troops that went over to Iraq and the Middle East, and they've been spending a lot of time there. And the only way they can communicate with their wives and their children is through internet and technology.
Right.
And so they've been there for years. And when they come back to the States in their home, the guy actually lost the ability to actually confront them face to face, and still uses the internet and messaging to communicate with their wives and children.
It's kind
weird.
of, it's very frightening because here we are, we're like humans, we're sort of like we're born with all these like abilities. We have eyes, we have, we can talk and all that, and we're always surrounded by people, but now we actually choose to talk to a computer or to a phone, and we hide behind the screen, and we choose to like type something to converse with somebody instead of like telling them vocally.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of it's very strange.
There are a lot of problems about this that may not be an immediate problem right now, but in 10 years, 20 years, it will have a domino effect, and
it is already happening.
It is already happening, and you're right. Even amongst friends, sometimes we feel it's easier just to send off a message, and then when we gather together, we don't really communicate that much anymore. You know?
I mean, everybody's just sort of leaving messages on the internet and saying, "Hey, let's hang," but you actually don't.
Exactly. So it seems like it's great that we're actually communicating more, but it's not at the same time in real life.
Right.
But another problem that you just mentioned, like you say, okay, a lot of people are just typing now. We've lost the ability to write and speak, write and speak. That's the first generation of it. The next generation right now, they're not even typing anymore. There's so much voice recognition going on now, and it's very accurate now, which I find it very amazing actually. Like especially for Chinese, 因为这不是很好辨认的，但是现在的这个语音辨认现在很强了，所以我觉得新一代的年轻人呢，现在连打字都开始不会打了，只会用语音了，所以
but at least they're speaking.
At least they're speaking though, right?
They're speaking to
it's a cycle.
To a phone.
It's going back now, right? It's a
retro.
Anyways, there's a lot to talk about right here. Congratulations on this new sound, even though that song may be a little bit more pop, if you will, and funk and disco.
Right.
But when you pop in this album, you're going to find an entirely new Tanya that is just delicate and dark at the same time.
Thank you. Thank you. That was deliberate,
no, seriously, that's how it felt. And I mean, come on, just the title of the album and a lot of other songs on the album.
Yeah,
carries that tone.
It does have like just overall like the titles themselves have. They sound very interesting.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, 异类的同类, what does that mean, right?
Strange species.
Exactly. 然后活着是最好的死亡, 这个听起来, that's probably the darkest tone of all.
It's not as dark.
But it's supposed to be positive, isn't it?
Yeah, as it suggests, it's not. You know, the fact is that, you know, the minute that you're born, you're just one step away from death, like towards death, actually. And because of that, isn't it like we should ask ourselves like how we should live our life, you know, because we're already dying. You know, some people sort of just when they come to this earth and they sort of I'm not saying like everyone, but some of us like sort of we don't look around and see how we can make our lives like worthier living in search for like a deeper meaning to life somehow, and we sort of spend it away, waste it away. So if you know that you're going to die maybe like tomorrow, you know, what would you do?
I know.
What would you do?
I know.
Yeah.
That's always a devastating question, you know. Let's say you only have, not even tomorrow, but even if you only have a year left, you know.
Right. You want to like live it to its fullest extent, basically.
Changes your perspective on everything. But you're saying that, you know, we come to this world and we're counting down actually already. And, you know,
from the minute that you're born, you're just counting down already.
Yeah, that's true. And some people don't realize it until, you know, they're halfway through life.
Almost there.
Or even almost, you know, towards the end of it.
Right.
All right. Well, we're going to get into these subjects, but maybe even lighter subjects like, you know, what Tanya's doing, you know, for the last 2 years. Of course, you know, kind of trying to crank this album out, but I'm sure there are other interesting things that you can share. I understand you did a project called, I want to say WOW.
Project WOW. Yeah, it is.
WOW? Is it pronounced that way? WAO?
Yeah, it's an acronym for Women as One.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a project that I wanted to do with a couple of my friends, like my female artists. I mean, for lack of a better word, the divas. My diva friends. You know, it just came together one day when we were sitting in Ame's balcony. You know, we went to her house to hang out, and then I was just saying, wouldn't it be kind of cool if we just took one day out of our working lives, go on stage, have fun, you know, play music with each other, and then donate the whatever, you know, that we get from the concert, donate it to like a worthy cause somehow. Let's try to dedicate that as much as we can.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me, like, you know, like in the U.S., the Lilith Fair.
Actually, it was like kind of inspired by that. And I was kind of surprised that actually I never heard of something like that in Taiwan. So exactly, right? I think that was why it was so appealing to me, because at one point I was just thinking like, everyone's just doing their own thing, and there's always like a case of where the media sort of kind of pit women against women, saying, oh, you know, you're like this female artist and this female artist, they're like bitching at each other and all that. But I'm like, no, that's not true. You know, women have this bond, and it's this very nurturing bond, I'm sure, that if we just came together, it would be very overwhelming. It's just that the music industry doesn't really put us together. Like, so you actually have to come like from yourself to actually want to do that, because there's all these red tapes between record companies saying, oh, you know, you're not under our label, so you know, there's no chance for us to work together. So I just thought, okay, you know, if I could cut that red tape and just go a bit amongst my friends and say, hey, shall we do that? And then everyone's like, yes, why not? Let's do it now. Yeah. Absolutely. I was going to say, you know, it's a void, but you create that void and fill it up, and then naturally it will all happen. Right. And if you just leave it there, then it won't. So good job. Thank you. Doing that. We're going to take a short break right now. We'll come back with more music, of course, from Tanya Chua's new album, Aphasia, 私语者, after this.
And that's the ICRT Entertainment Report. I'm Eric Gao.
All right, great entertainment report, and we are entertaining our listeners with our own entertainer of the hour, Tanya, right here. Say hello to Eric. Eric, say hello to Tanya.
Hey, Eric. Nice one.
Oh, he left already. Wow, he shut off his microphone so quick. All right, anyways, Eric, just thank you for that report.
Nice one. Yep.
And I just want to say, I'm so happy to see Tanya each and every time, but every time I see her, it just means another 2 years has passed.
That's right. Everyone's just getting older.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Exactly. And then the last time you released an album, it's about the devil and the angel, isn't it?
Yeah. Angel versus devil.
Yeah. And so this album here...
Just the devil.
Well, it's not just the devil. That's what I want to say. It's kind of like the angel living in devil's world or something.
I just wanted to bring out the darker side. And like, this is me.
这首歌就是呢，印象一听就好深刻。Tanya 呢，怎么可以这么酷？怎么可以这么有点冷淡？但是呢，她还是很怎么讲？好像还是有很多话要说的冷淡。
Yeah. Yeah.
然后冷淡可以就是很颓废而已，你不是那种颓废，但你有带一点哎。
Yeah, I think in all my songs, it's 那个出发点, it's always been a good one, because I like to observe my surroundings. I observe myself. I love to do all that kind of psychoanalysis kind of thing. And this album was actually born out of just observing what has happened to me and to my surroundings and what has happened to the world. Yeah. I might not necessarily be singing about love songs anymore because sometimes, there's only so much love that you can talk about.
Right.
Or heartbreaks.
Right.
So I wanted to step out of that, my own world, and get into the big world and talk about it and really address, what I think is affecting me or might affect the world as well. So this is the thing that I realized as we move into a digital era, that might be a case where we might just stop feeling, because feeling is not good.
Right.
People just want to, everything is moving so fast.
Right.
Everyone's sort of just hiding behind a screen. And it's all these kind of things that I get worried about, basically.
Yeah. Sure. And the irony of this is, you're talking about the digital age and, the internet and whatnot, but a lot of the elements that you're using are digital or more electronic.
This is actually the reason why I chose, a lot of people were a little concerned that, is Tanya like, 要改型还是什么改路线 but it's not that, but it's the fact that music, in all kinds of whatever you're trying to convey, you have to pick the one that can really represent like a certain kind of atmosphere,
the connecting medium,
right? Exactly. Right. And it's, you try to imagine this album with this concept, with like an acoustic guitar. It's kind of, it doesn't really click somehow.
You're right.
So I somehow instinctively I felt like, even though I've never been a big fan of electronic music, but somehow this album just sort of made me feel like I have to get into this to get the message across.
Absolutely. And that's why I want to point it out. I mean, even though it's ironic, but it's almost necessary.
Yeah.
And it does help, to carry that theme that we're talking about here. 异类的同类, strange species.
Yes.
Let's listen to it.有没有很冷酷？很酷。异类的同类 strange species. What kind of species are you, huh?
I don't know. Which is weird.
The female kind, of course.
Yes, officially.
Tanya, she decades ago came out with that song called "Boring," and she has never bored us since then.
I try not to.
Yeah, no, not at all. And she, you set a lot of records too. Being nominated so many times, so a lot of recognition over the years. That's what the main point is here. And then trying to find a different style that is not about changing and evolving into something, but also just reflecting your surroundings right now. Like you said, again, the whole album, Aphasia, 失语者, you wouldn't fall into that category of people that, or you warn yourself not to fall into that category of the internet age people where you spend a lot of time online and on your phone, and even while dining still messaging people. Do you not do that? Or
of course I do. I mean, this is the reason why I write about this album, because you catch yourself doing that, and you're kind of like, oh my god, I've become one of them. What do I do about it? It's not like, the whole point about this album, it is not to say that this is wrong or whatever it is. It's basically just almost like keeping a diary and chronicling, what's happening kind of thing. And the concerns that I get, becoming somebody who's more sucked into the internet instead of figuring out my life, what I feel, what I can do with my life, make it how to become a better person or whatever. So, it's that kind of thing that you always constantly have to remind yourself, like, okay, stop, like, get yourself away from this device and go find a life. And this is the case where, because everyone is so caught up in, because it's so convenient, right? Because you don't have to think anymore, because the internet offers you all kinds of entertainment.
And we worry about that, don't we?
It's kind of like
that we're not really thinking.
Yeah.
We're because information ready, yes, but we're not creative enough.
Exactly, but because thinking itself, it's very time consuming. It's hard. Not everyone wants to do it the hard way, especially now. So this album sort of like, it really dug a lot out of me. I really had to dig very deep into to thinking like how I can make this album sound different. Right. How, it's still me, but it comes out like differently. Or, how do I break through from my mold as a singer-composer? And all that kind of stuff. And how do I relate to and how my music can relate to other people, with this concept that I'm trying to do.
Sure. So, I mean, again, it's necessary, but, it's kind of a warning for yourself and others, what we're falling into. Right. So the ultimate question is, so how many hours do you spend on the internet, do you think?
I don't want to calculate. But, these days, I when I catch myself doing that, I always now have like a book in my hand, and I would just like start to like read. I try to make
keep
myself
something alternative,
right?
Handy
or just
around.
Or I go bake something. Just do something that humans just instinctively can do with their hands, with their own creativity. I tell you, like, being creative these days, it's so difficult because you're like, what should I do today? Is there something that I can do differently? Most of the time we don't come up with anything. It's just blank.
And that's why that is why actually you bring out a very good point, very deep point here. But that's why I think in the last decade, I think a lot of things are being repeated over and over again,
because that's safe.
And I feel like everything is still about the same as, I mean, of course technology has grown, but but as far as creative stuff, it has stayed stale in a way in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we're going to take a short break again. When we come back, more music, and we're supposed to do a call out. Let me see if I have enough time for that right after this. I want people to hear this, man. It's like, did you just change a different guest? No, it's still Tanya. 她在唱一克拉 One carat, like a diamond.
Yeah.
这好特别的歌哦。
It is.
又很 exotic. 为什么会写这样的歌？
It's sort of like a song that I wanted to write for women to encourage each other to find their own self-worth, just like a diamond, like a diamond it comes from like carbon, you know.
Yeah.
You need to do all these chiseling and, you know, going through all whatever to get to that sparkling self.
And a human being is made of carbon too.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of, you know, the entire album, the lyrics were written by Xiao Han, and I think she's done such a fabulous job.
对，我要问这个小韩这次把诠释你的音乐把它弄得很好。
Yeah.
Good team here.
I love this collaboration. I love the idea that I'm just going to bestow the responsibility of all the lyrics to like a friend of mine whom I think she knows me so well. And because we've discussed about life, you know, in general, you know, this is what our friendship's based on. Like we've had such good chemistry because, you know, we always in our communication we've always talked about life, you know, how we evolve and all that kind of stuff. So with the concept of this album, I just told her she absolutely understands where I'm going and what I want to do. So like Ikala, it came as a surprise as well. You know, when I told her, like, because there was a phase that I was going through, I was obsessed with diamonds.
没有这个，应该很多人会问你啊，是开始在想婚。
No.
1克拉还是要2克拉？1克拉就够了。这样。
No, it's one of those things. I think like, you know, I used to 我以前不是很喜欢钻石 like all these sparkling kind of stuff. But then there was like all my female friends were like into buying jewelry and all that kind of stuff. I've never been into it until like one day I started with like it's not even like 1 carat of diamond, but it was like some 0 point something carat.
Okay, right. Just a fraction of it,
yeah. But then I was like,
it got you into
oh my God, this is beautiful because not because like how expensive it was, but because, you know, there's something, this energy that it gives you somehow.
It does carry that,
yeah. And suddenly, when it came to this album, I kind of thought like, wow, wouldn't it be interesting if we just used 1 carat as like at least like an ideal, the perfect self, you know, of a woman, how we want to see ourselves as like this sparkling diamond, and how do we get to that state somehow. And I told Xiao Han that write me something with Ikela.
I see. Interesting train of thoughts right here. 1 carat. We have to do I'm going to do this quickly, okay, if you don't mind, because we're getting towards the end of the year, and you probably have a lot of year-end parties that
do it now
to participate too. 你应该也会参加很多尾牙。Anyways, 我们台湾彩券呢，这整个礼拜呢，在送出尾牙加码的彩券送给你，搞不好一刮出来就有200万哦，真的有可能了哦。那我们今天抽到一位叫 Juliana， 但我不知道她还在不在公司，现在要打到她的公司去，搞不好她不在了。那如果她不在，我们就只好没关系，就还是改天打给她送给她了啊。但是
be there or be square.
Yeah, exactly. 但是你的故事真的蛮特别的。然后呢，曾经呢为一家就是很小气的公司打拼过，当然不是现在这个公司。
好，我分机号码有种机会领。
是他公司吗？
请稍后。
应该没人了吧？
我是觉得应该不在了啦，对。
If she is,
she's working too hard now.
She's working too hard. Girl, you need to take a break.
Yeah, probably not. But anyways, she talks about a story about, you know, this is a former company, and they never ever.
对不起，我的分机号码无人接听。
好，没关系 ，OK。他曾经工作的这个小气的公司啊，都不给任何的奖金啊，然后尾牙会请吃饭，但不会有任何奖金，所以他就拱了3位主管出来，一定要连大老板、董事长都要拱出奖金。结果听说那天晚上他们所有的主管都很生气，差点把他炒鱿鱼。
Oh my god！
然后 anyways， 他后来也觉得说，好啦，这个公司待不下去，也离开了。所以跟我们分享这个，当然还有很多 details， 就是他有点醉意，然后再去拱这些 CEO 的故事，还蛮有趣的。But anyways, we are here with Tanya Chua.
Yes.
Talked about a lot of serious subjects today, you know?
Yeah.
But I just have to say, you know, like we were saying, you know, a lot of things are being in a loop now. We're not creative enough. And I kind of find that true with music, right? Worldwide, you know? But yet you still are able to reinvent yourself, and that's why, you know, if anyone were to ask, you know, who was your top favorite female artist, let's say 15 years ago, I'm sure a good majority of people will say Cai Jianya. And 15 years later, it's still Cai Jianya because you've reinvented yourself very, very well each and every time. I'd
like to, you know, for everything that I do, I want to make them because they're important to me. You know, as long as it's important to you, you want to make an effort for it. You know, every single time when I come up with an album, I want people to believe in me, like believe in my music.
Yeah.
And not kind of feel like, oh, there she goes again, you know, like just the same old thing. And if one day it happens, like people think of my music that way, I think that would be the time that
slap you on the head.
I should leave.
That you should leave?
Because
oh, wow.
Music should always be about that passion that you have. You know? It's always trying to just... You don't exactly have to do like something different all the time, but it has to be true to yourself.
Well, continue to amaze us as much as you could.
I will.
I'm going to just squeeze every little juice out of you. Congratulations， 真的很开心可以跟蔡健雅聊这么深层的东西，而且是我比他老一点了。
有吗？
有啦，但是好像我们这个年代人会去讲的话题哦。好了，祝福你啦！
谢谢。
施予者
Thanks, Joseph.
Out now, you're welcome. Stay tuned. Top of the hour news is up next.